Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is the 33rd part of What If Deku Was Sanji's Reincarnation, My Heroes Reborn. The author of this great fanfic is Emily. Links to them and original story in the description. Chapter 33, Learning How to Work Together. Izuku just stared dumbly at Bakugo, trying to process what was going on. Much like with what happened in the locker that day, he was having an internal debate. Well, it was less of a debate because the two sides of him were agreeing on it and more like in a somewhat argumentative freak-out. "What's wrong with him?" cried the part of him that's Izuku. "I don't know," yelled the part of him that was Sanji. "How can you not know? You're in the driver's seat when we talk to him most of the time," cried the part of him that's Izuku. "Maybe it's an imposter," said the part of him that was Sanji. In the real world, Izuku used observation haki, and nothing seemed wrong. But because he was barely functioning at the moment, he yelled out, "You're not an imposter." "What?" asked Bakugo with a sweat drop. Inside Izuku, the two sides of him just sighed and tried their best to get it together. The two headed into the training grounds. "Tell me what you know about him," muttered Bakugo. Izuku sighed. Hibiki had sent him a text before going to monitor room giving him permission to tell Bakugo the basics about him, as he had to know about some of the stuff involving his past life, not the personal stuff though. His quirk is called force speakers. Any music he listens to he projects outward and can use to attack in many ways, usually in the way of concussive blasts. He also knows how to fly with it, said Izuku, but that's not our main problem with him. Then what is it? Asked Bakugo. He was a hero in his past life too. He hasn't really given all the details, but he didn't have anything like a quirk in his past life. He used a suit he invented to fight. Not only that, but he's a genius inventor. Knowing him, he might have something to help him fight us, said Izuku, but he does have two weaknesses. Which are? Said Bakugo. In order to properly use his quirk, he has to use noise-canceling headphones, said Izuku. It renders him essentially deaf. However, knowing him, he probably has a way around it, so it might be difficult to strategize. The other is, like I said, he has to wear noise-canceling headphones in order to use his quirk properly. So get rid of the headphones, then he can't use his quirk anymore, said Bakugo. Izuku began to walk away. "I'm going to camp out near the exit. If you change your mind and decide to run, I'll be waiting for you there," said Izuku. "Listen for any music, that's when you know he's coming." "Hold it," said Bakugo. "That idiot counselor of yours is clearly trying to get us to work together." "Don't call him that," said Izuku. Bakugo gritted his teeth. "Call him an idiot when you see him do something stupid," said Izuku. "Did he just make a joke?" thought Bakugo. "You seriously want to work together?" asked Izuku suspiciously. In the monitor room, Toru, Kyoka and Kota all entered the room. "Has it started yet?" asked Toru. "Not yet," said Ochako. "So what brings you in?" asked Momo to Kyoka and Kota. "I've heard about Orchestra Rave's quirk and I want to see it action," said Kyoka. "I'm just a bit worried," signed Kota. That was when the doors once again opened, and in walked All Might. "I am here to watch the exams," said All Might. "You missed all but the last," said Recovery Girl. "Well, I was doing other things," said All Might in embarrassment. However, all of the students in the room all huddled together. "Okay, so we're all in agreement," whispered Ochako. "All Might is definitely mentoring Deku." "It is obvious," said Mashireo. "Why are they even bothering hiding it?" asked Kyoka. "What are talking about?" asked All Might. "It's nothing, worry about it," said Ida. Recovery Girl just sighed. Meanwhile, on one of the rooftops, Hibiki was finishing up his preparations. Songs 1, 3, 7, and 9 are normal songs that won't cause problems. Song 5 will probably mildly annoy Izuku, but that's it. Songs 2, 4, 8 and 10 are songs that should distract the two in some way, because of the absurdity of them, the annoyance factor, or just another reasons. Song 6 will distract you definitely, and probably Izuku, maybe Bakugo depending on his grasp of English. Explained Aiko. Okay. I have to ask. Said Hibiki. It was featured in a 1990s American movie that was rated PG-13. Because of that I feel okay to use it. Said Aiko. Which one? Said Hibiki. Worry about that later, you got an exam to run. Said Aiko, and hopefully any burns you experience will be mild. Hibiki sighed as he put on his headphone and flipped down his visor. Then AC/DC's Back in Black started to blare from his body. Really? The song everybody knows? Asked Hibiki. Aiko, doesn't matter, just go there and figure out a way to not get set on fire. Hibiki sighed, then jumped of the building and flew away. Back with Izuku and Bakugo. What are you up to? Asked Izuku. What do you mean, what am I up to? Yelled Bakugo. You suddenly want to work together? Asked Izuku. I know you too well to know you would never want to do that. Before Bakugo could say anything in repose, they heard the guitar riff coming in closer. He's coming in from above, said Izuku. That was when a sonic blast came in from above and cut through the fake street they were on. Are you going to do anything, Deku? King Explosion? Asked Hibiki using their hero names. Both of them looked him as he flew above them. I thought you were kidding when you said he could his quirk to fly. Muttered Bakugo. Why the hell would I lie about that? Asked Izuku. Let's just punch him out the air. Muttered Bakugo. Bakugo took the air with his explosions while Izuku used Skywalk to join him. Bakugo tried to punch him out of the air like his threat. However, Hibiki began to easily catch his punch. Too sloppy, kid. Said Hibiki, trying to punch me out the air won't be able that easy. That was when suddenly Bakugo felt his entire body vibrate suddenly as his whole body was filled with the music. He fell to the ground. Sonic Blast aren't my only moves, you know, said Hibiki. However, Izuku managed to kick him in the back. However, Hibiki quickly recovered. I thought you were having a guilty conscience about fighting dirty, said Hibiki. I guess you got over it. Izuku said nothing. Oh, I have ears by the way, said Hibiki. It's your visor, said Izuku. You started wearing it after you regained your past life memories. Hooked up to Aiko, it let me see a transcript of anything said to me, but that's not all. He explained. He looked at Bakugo recovering from the earlier attack, and he aimed his hand in a certain way. Targeting systems, realized Izuku. Bingo, said Hibiki. Izuku dropped to the ground and grabbed Bakugo to figure out another plan. So he's trying to work together, said Hibiki with a smirk. Aiko, I don't think it's just the rule. I have to talk to David Lynch after this exam, said Hibiki. Aiko, that you do, so follow them? Oh yeah, said Hibiki. Both of them found a wide enough alley. I didn't need you to grab me, yelled Bakugo. You're the one who wants to work together, muttered Izuku. Bakugo didn't answer back. It's worse than we think, said Izuku. Remember what I said about him probably figure out a way to hear us. That visor lets him see what we say, also it has targeting systems. What do you mean it has targeting systems? He yelled out. It helps me home in on where you are, said Hibiki above them. Then he did a 3-point landing right in front of them. However, he was in pain. However, both teens stared at the pro hero. That hurt far worse than usual. He managed to get out. Aiko, how, just, how? Izuku face palmed. Bakugo was just confused. In the monitor room, the 4 members of the therapy group just stared at Hibiki. That idiot,
sighed Momo face-palming. Why, what's wrong? Asked Tsuyu. He sometimes forgets things, said Ochako. Why is that important? Said Kyoka. Wait, you're not saying, said Ida, who knew about Hibiki's forgetfulness thanks to his friend's occasional complaints. Back in the alleyway. How did you forget about the weights? Said Izuku. What? Asked Bakugo. I got used to wearing them, said Hibiki, blushing in embarrassment. You can call him an idiot now, sighed Izuku. You know, Deku, you're one to talk about forget things, said Hibiki. What did you forget now? Izuku glared harshly at Hibiki. His legs activated Diable Jam, and he was extremely angry. However, Hibiki immediately pushed him back, with a blast sending him crashing into Bakugo. Aiko, I disapprove of that taunt, by the way. Hibiki sighed, even he felt a bit dirty. He knew he was an idiot when not using his past life personality. Izuku's mental blocks were something else. Aiko, on the bright side, the song is ending soon, and thankfully the song I chose will lighten the mood. As Back in Black came to an end, Hibiki knew to back away a bit, especially since the two teens finally managed to get up. Why did he back away? Said Izuku. Wait, that's it. But before he could take advantage of it, SNYTH drums began to play. And both teens froze as they recognized the song. Nice, laughed Hibiki. Aiko, the meme that will never die. Hibiki looked at the two teens that monetarily distracted, so he decided to unleash a few dance moves from the infamous music video. The monitor recovery girl sighed as she got audio from the exam, and only her. So she heard the song. What's wrong? Asked All Might. It's nothing, said recovery girl. That moment she knew this exam wasn't going to be a normal one. Back in the alleyway, Bakugo was the first to recover from the bizarre choice in song. A Rick roll. Seriously? Yelled Bakugo. Yep, said Hibiki. Then he raised his arms to shoot them, however Izuku managed to drag Bakugo away. That wouldn't have hit, muttered Bakugo. What is it about targeting systems, don't you understand? TNT for brains, yelled Izuku. This is too weird, maybe we should just head for the exit. Bakugo gritted his teeth. Besides, do you want to get beaten up by the Rick roll song? Asked Izuku. You know the rules and so do I, said Hibiki above them. You have 30 seconds to cross. Do you want to take that chance? Aiko, joke score, 3 out of 10 too forced. Hibiki rolled his eyes. He then tried to blast them. However, Izuku grabbed him out the way. Stop grabbing me, yelled Bakugo. So you're saying I'm not faster than you? Asked Izuku. Bakugo gritted his teeth. So you're also predicting his movements? Said Bakugo. I can, and I know where is at all times, said Izuku. Hibiki snorted. Are you seriously trying to strategize while I'm here? Asked Hibiki. Izuku activated his quirk. I haven't tried this yet, said Izuku. Try what? Asked Bakugo. Izuku once again grabbed Bakugo, this time carrying him away. It worked, thought Izuku. Aiko, are you going to follow? Give them a minute to strategize, said Hibiki. Aiko, literally or figurative? Let's go with literally, said Hibiki. A countdown clock appeared on his visor. Let's see if this will work, said Hibiki. What the hell? Yelled Bakugo. So you don't want to hear what I came up with? Asked Izuku. Bakugo gritted his teeth. I realized another weakness, said Izuku. Which is? Asked Bakugo. He has a couple seconds where he can't use his quirk, said Izuku, the little break in between songs. A fat load that will do, said Bakugo.
But it might give one of the chance to do something to his visor or headphones,
said Izuku.
Whatever,
said Bakugo. Fine. I'll let you handle it then, muttered Izuku. Like I said, I'll camp out at the exit gate.
We have to work together, you idiot,
yelled Bakugo. No, we don't, said Izuku. We either have to cuff him or cross within 30 seconds of each other.
I know you can handle it on your own. Even if you're an asshole, we both know how awesome you are.
Bakugo began to seethe.
You should have realized that too, said Izuku. Just handle it yourself because that's what you really want.
Don't tell me what I want, yelled Bakugo. What? asked Izuku.
Back with Hibiki, the countdown clock hit 0
minutes up,
said Hibiki. He then flew up to find the two.
He looked around and found them. He already found them, and Izuku made Bakugo down. Bakugo knew he had to stop complaining about him moving him.
Did you actually manage to strategize? Did you just bicker? Knowing the bastard, it was probably bicker,
said Hibiki.
What did you call me?
Yelled Bakugo.
Oh, would you prefer little shit? Asked Hibiki.
Aiko, are you trying to get him to blow you up?
Aiko.
It's time, said Hibiki.
Aiko, alright.
Bakugo unleashed an explosion.
However, when the smoke cleared, Hibiki was unaffected. And what took the hit was set of blue metal gauntlets on his hands.
Where did those come from? asked Izuku.
The song began to fade.
Deku. Deku.
Deku, you honestly don't think I didn't notice that you noticed one of my weakness?
Said Hibiki. I'm the reincarnation of a genius billionaire playboy philanthropist superhero.
I have so many workarounds for my weaknesses.
Of course you do, said Izuku.
He threw Bakugo away like it was nothing.
He then blasted the two.
But of course, since Izuku had his haki activated, he was able to drag Katsuki away.
The song switched, now playing a song. Let me guess, some anime theme song, said Hibiki.
Aiko, yep.
Figured I'd give them something they'd recognize.
Hibiki smirked.
Kids these days, honestly,
muttered Hibiki.
Aiko, you can't kids these days situation.
Why not?
asked Hibiki.
Aiko, because technically the music you're thinking of literally centuries before your time.
Oh, come on, yelled Hibiki.
Aiko, okay, so it was your time in your past life, but in this life you're a weirdo unless they're aware of your past life.
Seriously, yelled Hibiki.
Bakugo stared at the argument that Hibiki was having with his AI. But he didn't know what he was doing, so from the outside he was just talking to himself.
That was when he saw Izuku getting ready to run.
Deku!
He yelled, I'm not letting you run away from this.
He's having an augment with his assistant,
said Izuku. I didn't think he'd that stupid, but there you go.
Will you listen for 5 seconds?
Said Bakugo.
What, you need me to dodge then?
Said Izuku.
Just listen to me,
yelled Bakugo.
Izuku had to grab Bakugo to make sure he dodged some blasts where wasn't just music based.
Sorry about that,
said Hibiki. I really should be paying attention.
Izuku activated both his quirk and haki and kicked the air towards Hibiki, knocking him down from air pressure alone. Then once again grabbed Bakugo.
Aiko, so you think they might be able to talk things through this time?
Maybe.
I do have to keep them on their toes,
said Hibiki.
Aiko, but in all seriousness, please don't kids these days it, even with your past life.
It's still really weird.
Hibiki just sweat dropped.
Aiko, wait, hold on.
Something just came up.
What?
asked Hibiki.
Aiko, Izuku didn't put something in his locker.
Hibiki smirked when she said that.
Izuku sighed. I'm getting tired of this, said Izuku. You're one who's making me dodge, yelled Bakugo. I'm leaving, then fend for yourself, said Izuku. What the fuck is wrong with you? Will you just let me explain? He yelled. He's nowhere close to finding us, so make it quick, muttered Izuku. How are you able to know where he is? Yelled Bakugo. Those pirate tricks you love so much, said Izuku. Now tell me or I'm heading to the exit. Bakugo seemed to struggling to say what he wanted to say. Figures, muttered Izuku, just beat him or come to me. Though I doubt you'll come to me. I know you and I know you won't give up. Bakugo let out a blast. I'm trying to change you, moron, yelled Bakugo. Izuku froze when he said that. You don't think I don't know how fucked up I said when I told you to kill yourself? Said Bakugo. Izuku froze. And it's not just that, muttered Bakugo, who was still trying to figure out his words. He looked at Bakugo, really looked at him. For the first time in his entire life he saw Bakugo torn up, conflicted. It was just unnatural. Izuku sighed. He knew for a fact people could change. Robin was planning to use the crew as a human shield when she first joined, but then couldn't and gave herself up. Frankie's gang beat up Usopp to a bloody pulp. Not only did he join, but he and Usopp not only buried the hatchet but were also collaborators in building things. But then there was Pudding. To say they got off on the wrong foot was an understanding. But he knew people could change for the better. Are you really trying to change? Asked Izuku. Clear, Shitty Hair and Rockhead have been trying to help, said Bakugo. Izuku nodded. After all, those were the only two in class willing to talk to him, then realized something. Wait, Kota is helping you? Asked Izuku. It's a long story, muttered Bakugo. Yeah, that makes sense, said Izuku. You have brains now, said Bakugo. Any ideas? Can you empty your tanks without causing them to explode? Asked Izuku. Bakugo blinked, then grinned. That weird fire trick, said Bakugo. Yeah. I don't want a hell memory smash unless I have to, said Izuku, but I don't know if that would be much overkill. Elsewhere, Hibiki's eye twitch. The twitch was a combination of the plan they were making and what they were discussing before then. Let them know, said Hibiki. Aiko, they're working together, they're set you on fire either way. Stop bringing that, yelled Hibiki. Besides, it's not just that. Aiko, yeah. I know. Back with Izuku and Bakugo, they heard the same song that Hibiki was playing coming from Izuku's pocket. He began to sweat as he took out the transceiver. The Aiko button was pressed. I but summoned her, said Izuku. He tossed the transceiver down the alleyway. We have to get out of here now and ignore that plan for now, said Izuku. Damn it. I got into the habit of carrying that with me everywhere. And he was paired up with Ida. What the fuck are you talking about? Yelled Bakugo. He heard that whole conversation, said Izuku. What? Yelled Bakugo. Bakugo launched him into the air and Izuku skywalked behind him. Why did you have a spying device in your pocket? Yelled Bakugo. It's not a spying device, it's a tracker for Mashireo, said Izuku. Everyone else in the group and Ida has one. Why him? Asked Bakugo. Class Republic remained Izuku, but the point is his assistant can connect to it. And I heard everything in that little conversation, said Hibiki. He shot a powerful glare at Bakugo. You're lucky that I've decided to be impartial, this you little shit, muttered Hibiki, because I did not like that little revelation. Hibiki shot a blast from his gauntlets. Thankfully Bakugo was able to dodge on his own, partially because the song ended and Hibiki was losing altitude. Both Izuku and Bakugo took advantage of this and both managed to get a good hit in. As he fell to the ground,
But before either could come up with a follow-up attack, the music started up again. It was another anime theme song. This time it was peppy and fun. The franchise was centuries old but still went on strong, like Pokemon. If it was a Pokemon theme song, neither would be staring at the pro.
Ha! Close one. Laughed Hibiki. Pretty cure? Asked Izuku. The first season too. Said Hibiki, giving the thumbs up, so you know it's old school.
This was weirder and more embarrassing than Never Gonna Give You Up. Either teen knew how to respond. They were unsure if they were dealing with one of those grown men who were fans of the franchise or he was pranking them.
Aiko, bwahahahahahaha.
Taking a picture. Hibiki chuckled at this. For this, wondering the reason why the song was in his music player. Yuzu. She once put a bunch of songs on his music player as a prank, though there were a couple songs she added because she thought it was cool. Most of them were just silly and songs that would either embarrass him or the criminal he was fighting. He kept a few of them for this very reason. Including this song. He also haven't found every single song yet, and it didn't help that Aiko was hiding them until they managed to play on shuffle. Both Izuku and Bakugo just stared at him, both of them managing to maintain their altitude. Just in shock at the song he was using to fight.
In the monitor room, everyone watching weren't sure what was going on. Only that Izuku and Bakugo were staring at Hibiki in confusion. What's wrong with them? Asked Mashareo.
Probably one of the songs that Yuzu pranked him with.
Said Toru. What? Asked Kyoka.
His best friend once put a bunch of embarrassing songs on his music player. Said Toru, judging by his reaction it's one of the songs he kept because he thought it would be funny.
Recovery Girl just sighed at this.
Back in the training ground, Hibiki took advantage of this and grabbed the toe and changed the music directly into their bodies.
Come on.
Do you know how embarrassing it to get distracted by a grown man listening to a magical girl theme song? Said Hibiki. He let go, both of them crashed into the ground. Thankfully they were both conscious but rattled.
Deku.
Said Bakugo.
Yeah? Asked Izuku.
We're running until he switches songs. Said Bakugo, because I am not getting my ass kicked by a magical girl theme song.
Izuku laughed.
Both of them managed to get up.
And then ran.
Do they think they can keep this up?
Asked Hibiki.
Aiko, a very good question for you too. Those weight are taking a toll, you know.
Hibiki gritted his teeth.
Should I upgrade to boots?
Asked Hibiki. Aiko, unless you want a malfunction.
They weren't designed for the weights, just like your knees.
Hibiki face palmed.
Aiko, we both know those landings are really hard on your knees. Worse with those weights on.
Hibiki sighed and landed, this time not doing the 3-point landing. He knew had to hoof it, unfortunately.
Why isn't he flying?
Asked Izuku.
What?
Asked Bakugo.
He's not flying anymore.
Said Izuku.
Okay. How do your powers work exactly?
Asked Bakugo. Willpower.
Answered Izuku. Then for the first time since beginning the exam he slipped out of Sanji mode. I'm not making that up. I really did learn how to use willpower like that.
Bakugo was surprised.
What kind of world did you live in?
Asked Bakugo. You don't want to know. Said Izuku, slipping back into it. I think the song might ending soon. Bakugo nodded. He knew that Izuku needed to lead the way.
The two of them found Hibiki, just as the song ended.
So you're ready to fight? Asked Hibiki. The next song ended.
Aiko, heads up, it's a short one.
Okay. Said Hibiki.
Then the song played, he snickered.
He's a pirate, aka the Pirates of the Caribbean movie main theme.
Seriously? Yelled Izuku, who appeared to be annoyed, but not too annoyed.
Mild annoyance.
You were right, Aiko.
Said Hibiki.
Aiko, N_N.
Bakugo did snort though. Even he found a little funny. Yeah, muttered Izuku.
Both of them began to attack him.
You think that little apology will change anything? Asked Hibiki. In fact, he didn't apologize. However, this only gave Bakugo an opening to punch him in the face, hard. However, it wasn't enough to break the visor. Seriously? You think you can easily break that? What do you think you take me for? Asked Hibiki. Izuku tried to come from behind, trying to grab his headphones. Look, I'll let him apologize on his own time,
said Izuku. It took a lot for him to try to admit he's trying to change. Baby steps.
Hibiki blasted Izuku with a music beam.
You are too pure when you're not being an asshole pirate,
said Hibiki. Izuku did quickly recover. Aiko, reminder, short song. Combined with song 6 is next. Did you choose a short song for 5 because you wanted to get to 6 sooner? Asked Hibiki. Aiko, you'll never know. Hibiki rolled his eyes as the song ended.
Then a heavy bass began to play. He didn't recognize it at first, then the lyrics began to play. His face essentially turned into a thermometer, as a slow redness slowly kept up on his face.
Aiko, said Hibiki. Aiko, yes. Why is this song on my music player? He asked dangerously. Aiko, congrats. You found a missing song. Yuzu. He cursed. He looked at the two. Keep calm. Keep calm. They don't know what the song is about, thought Hibiki. However, Izuku could understand all the lyrics.
And it had gotten to the chorus. And much like Hibiki, a slow redness covered his face.
Hibiki, why are you playing a song about? Said Izuku. I was pranked. Yelled Hibiki. Yuzu pranked me years ago and I still haven't found every single song on it.
And you just know if I got a new one, Aiko would just make sure the prank songs were still there.
You know she would. Izuku sighed in facepalm. Yeah, she would, admitted Izuku. Wait.
I put Aiko in charge of the playlist.
I'll explain it better later, yelled Hibiki, but right now. He decided to take the chance to fly away. In the monitor room, as they were confused by Hibiki's behavior. Why is suddenly running away? Asked Ida. Probably another prank song,
said Momo. They were put on his music player to embarrass him.
Maybe a tasteless song about sex, said Kyoka. Recovery Girl just sighed heavily.
Aiko was put in charge of his playlist. She explained, I think this is why she told me.
Aiko? Asked Tsuyu. His assistant who liked to prank him sometimes, said Mashireo. Why does he still employ her? Koda asked in signs. It's complicated, said Momo. Back in the training ground. Okay. What the hell is going on? Yelled Bakugo. Please don't make me explain it, said Izuku. You know what's going on. So tell me, yelled Bakugo.
Izuku took a breath and forced down Sanji mode, because he worried what might happen if he entered that right now.
He told him what the song was about. Bakugo just twitched. He was pranked by multiple, people, said Izuku, unsure how to put Aiko. So how do we take him down? Asked Bakugo. Izuku took a breath and put a toothpick in his mouth. I'm kind of in the mood to embarrass him, said Izuku, entering Sanji mode. So would setting him fire be more or less embarrassing? Bakugo smirked, mostly because he did want to get back at Hibiki for calling him a bastard and a little shit. It was the principle of the thing, even if he did agree with the sentiment. Meanwhile, Hibiki was hiding, while also picking up Izuku's transceiver. It would be a good idea to pick it up. Aiko, we got lucky with that one, you know. I know, said Hibiki. Hey, idiot! Yelled Bakugo. Hibiki turned to Bakugo knowing he would want to run. However, that was when suddenly he was covered with an unknown. Aiko, danger! 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 Nitroglycerin-like substance detected on your body. Hibiki looked at and saw Izuku with his leg on fire. Oh, you have to be kidding me! Yelled Hibiki. That was when Izuku kicked a fireball at him. Hibiki tried to hit back, but the explosion was imminent. The explosion not only sent him flying but also knocked off his headphones, making sure they couldn't hear the song anymore. Hibiki sighed as Bakugo cuffed him. Good job, you two, said Hibiki as he stared at the sky. Oh, and Aiko. His visor was still on and Aiko didn't want to introduce herself to Bakugo at the moment. Aiko, yes? Permanently delete I touch myself by the divinals. And make sure it never enters any of my music players ever again. Said. Aiko grumbles, yes sir. And with that, the exams were over with Izuku and Bakugo passing. With a chance for the two to finally make up, though it was still a long road ahead. That will be it for this part. I hope everyone enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and comment if you want part 34. If you want to hear more from me, subscribe. I hope to see you all in the next one.